Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look. I'm sorry, I got all this stuff in the way here. We're going to take a look at the Tangle Feeling Knotty from CZT, Cherryl, Moote. I love the name of it. And today is the third Tuesday of the month, which means it is Tough Tangle Tuesday. That's a class or a sessions that I do, and they're free on the third Tuesday, as I said. And we had fun taking a look at this tangle. Now, this tangle has some variations, and actually, from the last time I did, I separated them out. Well, although when I did a math, they were different enough that I thought it warranted. But I thought, you know what? I don't know that I'm going to do that again. Although I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe it's not. Let me know in the comments. Being that it's a daily tangle, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this one. So that's what I was thinking. Like, well, maybe that happens. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to do a sample of each of these variations, because there's a little trick here or there, and we will get right to it. All right, so the first one, we're going to do the square. Now, just in the description section, links to step outs, and for more inspiration, we'll have from Cheryl's blog, which also has, besides her lovely artwork, we'll have her step out on there also. So we're going to start off with a square, and so just putting it in this, wherever you want it placed, and of course you could do more than one on a page. It just depends on on what you're doing. Then let's see, and here I had kind of gotten a little confused-ish on the step outs, and I always want to make sure what's important, what is helpful to have kind of separated, etc. But so this one, so you'll notice in my step out, I have, you can do this, or you can do this, or see something else. But here's what we're going to do, is taking a look at just picking one side, and I'm going to go to the left side of my square, and I'm extending that line up a little bit, and then I'm turning the tile, same thing, each side. Okay. Then we're going to put, we're going to aura this line here. And so, like I said, she had this kind of separate, as a separate step, which you could do. So we'll just go ahead and we'll do that. This one, on the third variation, we use this for sure. Now, here's the thing. So, and this is going to end up being the bottom of, kind of the open section. And so, well, let me just show you. Well, no, before I show you, here's the important thing here. You want this line, whether you do this plus the top at the same time, regardless, you want to make sure that this line doesn't go past your original, square, or, whatever shape you decide to use. You could use other geometric shapes, even a circle, because we had my friend Diane on our call today, this morning. When I get the replays, look at the AM session, and she did it in a circle and created something completely neat. So anyway, you don't want to go past this, because that will interfere with the path that we're creating. Okay, so we're doing that. I'm just going to put these little curved lines on top of all of these. Like so. Okay. Then, now we actually came up with an additional step or thought, and I know I watched Cheryl's videos that's in the for more inspiration. Like, she has 3 short videos on this as well. And what she suggested was, coming out from, say, any of these. Okay, so on the left side we have, this line that we made, but on this side it's going to be open. So you could put a dot, or because of what's going to, let me do the dot first. So if you do the dot, the next step is we're creating this path here. So sometimes it helps to air draw, kind of get a visual of what we're doing. So we're creating a path by coming from this, outer side here, auraing around, or if you want to create another shape, you can do something fancy up there if you want. Completely up to you. Also, you can do different shapes in these sections also. So then we're coming back to that dot. It just kind of helps because what you want to do is you want to line up where you end with this. And we don't want to go past this line because then it interferes, with the path that we're creating. So the other way that we came up to deal with this, and this really works best on the square option, variation, whatever you want to call it, is you could, and again, we just want to kind of line it up, but you could also create the line because, so here's where we had the dot, right? When we're doing the auraing, we are creating that line as we're coming up and over. So it's like pre-doing something we're going to do already. So that is just another option. And I like to share options so that way, whatever works best for you, we've got it covered. And we just do this for all of them. Oh no, I was like, do I go down? No, I don't go down. So this is where, it's being slow. Maybe having that line is helpful. It's because we're leaving that gap right there. Okay, and then this is the last one. And the last one, like I said, because this line is already done, we're just having it meet up just opposite of the line here below. If you think about the hollow bow technique, it's helpful because as you're doing this line and you can see the path that's being created, then you can kind of eyeball, all right, that looks like it would line up. Might be good if you're having trouble with this. Maybe a good idea, just as a thought, you could go back and try hollow bow if you've never tried it. I would highly recommend giving that one a try. It's one of the essential techniques that we use in Zentangle. All right, so here is the square version. Now for the triangle in the middle. And then this one is a little bit different in the first couple steps. This one, just aura each side. And then I'm just gonna follow kind of the same method that we have in the step outs. And I'm just gonna do these curved lines as the top. And honestly, you could do, the aura and then the curved line on top of it all in one step and then move on to the next side. That's completely up to you. All right. Now, this one, so in the square one, we drew that line out at first. On this one, we don't do that first. We're going to do that. This is essentially the third step versus the second step. And I believe it's because it's not square. That's why. So, but now we're going to connect it. So I'm looking at here where I have two corners on top essentially, and I'm going to do the left one, and I'm connecting, from the triangle to the I'm just going to call it the dome shape because that's what I've been calling it. Turn in my tile, same thing. So each left side we have that. Then the rest, it's the same concept, except because it's a triangle, it's I don't know how I want to say it. It's not as well, it's a little bit, I want to say more fluid. I don't know if that's the right way. Because here it's easy. It's like, oh, I'm gonna end up right here, and that's really easy to say. On here, it's kind of like, well, let me just do one, and we'll see where I'm gonna carefully do one, and we'll see where we end up, because it's the same concept. Whoops. And you don't want to go past this, and you want to have that lined up. So it's you could probably put a dot there, and it's fine. But this we have a little bit of a curve. You play with it and see what you come up with. Worst case, aim for this a little bit shy of where it should be, and then if you need to, you can always go and add in some space, just fill it in. The worst thing about actually both of these so far is the wanting to come all the way back to here, and it's like, nope, we are not done yet. The only time we're going to hit a line is on the last time, and that's what this one is the last time. And like I said, going slow, it helps. Also doing it small helps, because it's easy to do this size of a curve line versus I'll share with you some of the samples from today. Okay, so there's the triangle. Now, for even more fun, and this one, well, she has different names for them. Now I'm not remembering. Okay, but we're going to start with a square again. You could also play with, and then I'm going to do the first two steps here too. You could also play with, like I'm making mine very angular, very square. You could have fun with making, even the initial square with some, curved lines. So just a little bit of roundness to them, and have some fun. Okay, so we have this. Then from here, and I'm going to do seeds. I did, and the sample I did an orb, but I'm going to do a seed because I think the seed is a tad bit easier. And if you don't know what a seed is, it's a curved line going one direction, curved line going the other direction, meeting at both ends there, and it creates what looks like a seed, hence the name. Now this variation, you just have to make sure that you have enough room above the seed or orb, whatever you end up putting up on top, for an aura, because we'll be going around that. Okay, now from here we're going to be coming, and I'm just like a lot of these, and now I don't remember if I mentioned it or not yet, using the takeoff and land concept. I might not have said it. We just got done with the PM session, and so I'm remembering what I had said there. So, all right, so takeoff and land means I'm going to trace a little bit over this, and then when I'm landing, I'm tracing over a little bit when I land. So that way it gives some continuity. Okay, so this one I'm going on, let me put this straight here. So I'm working on the right side of the seed, and we're going to come all the way around, and I'm going to bend this so that way it avoids this nicely, and land over here. Well, I've kind of made it a little bit square, but that's okay. You can play with, the angle that you use, the shape that you use, and all of that. That's what's fun about Zentangle, period, but especially something like this where there's lots of ways that you can do different things and have a lot of fun. Okay, next is we're going to aura the seed. So coming on the left side of the seed, and at whatever distance that you want, you might want to have it, sort of match this, so that way there's a little continuity. Now you can kind of bring that to a point if you want, and then come back down the other side, and there we go. My pen was sticking in a groove or something, and like so. And turning, doing this for each side. Now I know on Cheryl's step out, she had you doing this, and then there's a finishing step right here where we're connecting this to this path. But I found I could easily, doing this on all sides doesn't interfere with anything, so this is just how my brain works best. I share that, so that way if you want to just do both steps at once, finishing it off, you can, and we'll do that right now. Personally, it depends on the tangle. Sometimes once you've done it once, and then you're in the groove of doing it, and that I find helpful. And also in the meditative space of Zentangle, the repetitive part is what helps us get the mindfulness or the meditative aspect of Zentangle. So sometimes just doing one stroke, turn, one stroke, turn, one stroke, turn, and then go on to the next one and focusing on each stroke separately, that sometimes helps. All right, so this one, like I said, we're creating we're filling in the gap here. And you can start either way. So I'm going to take this outside of this aura here, and I'm just making a little almost an S-shaped curve line, and I'm having it meet wherever it would look natural, coming and meeting this line here. And then this one, same thing. And feel free to air draw, because that does sometimes help, and not go over like I just did there. Ugh. Okay, now do again. I'm just noticing my shadow. Sorry about that. I was so excited to share. I didn't look at that. And then the last one. And you see what I mean about making sure you have enough space where you put the seed. So you want to have room, you know, for the aura up here. You also want to have room for this crisscross underneath. Okay? Lots of fun. And again, you can put any shape you want, you know, of course, starting any shape you want here. When you're doing the aura, if you want to get fancy, you can do that as well. Speaking of that, okay, so let's see. Oh, you know, let me throw in some shading thoughts really quick. All right, shading thought. Proper tortilla. Oh, there's the pencil. All right, let me do it on the triangle one. So the best way, well, outside of, you know, if you want to decorate inside these, of course you can. Using, you know, any kind of border tangles are perfect for this because they're kind of built for lines. Then the trick is just usually getting them to bend. You know, or a small tangle, or just orbs. There are lots of tangles that fit the bill for this. And then maybe after you're done decorating, then you could put some graphite where it goes under. So where you have that line crossing like this, just put a little graphite in each section, and then, you know, I just work to bring it out kind of as far as I want it to go, I should say. I like to not have a line. I like it to look a little natural. Whoops, I was kind of off there. You know, and that's just really, really neat. It really is. So that's how you go about shading. Now, I mentioned, you know, if you want to do something fancy on the outside, this was one that I did. So all of the steps the same, but when we came time to do this outside, it was, oh, well, let's do the onion dome shape on the outside. You could do it here too. Instead of doing just a curved line, you could do the onion dome shape. That's the name of that shape. And then do one up here as well. It's just up to your creativity. Let's see, what else did I do that was extra creative? Well, this one I still have some playing around to do with it, but it was kind of fun. Oh, that's a little. Oh, okay, you can see now the thing adjusted. So this one I did. I just did orbs on the inside. I colored. It's hard to. Oh, there you can see. Look at that shine, with some gold. And then I decided to use some bright green because it's the date of this recording. It's March 15th. So St. Patrick's Day is, you know, in 2 days. And so we had to do, of course, something Irish. And so that's why the Celtic knot type of look. And then, you know, had to add some green and some gold, and that just worked. In the background, if you're wondering how I got that texture there, it was, I think, that the last 12 days of Zentangle, and you know, well, see, so they in their project pack, and you can go to zentangle.com and take a look. They a lot of times they'll share a lot of different things just to accentuate our tangling experience, and this was using an embossing stylus. This is part of a bigger tool that I have. So an embossing stylus. Actually, I could probably just use this, although it's kind of hard. It's a little too small. And you're just pressing down on a paper. The paper has to be kind of movable. So actually, actually, let me just put this in here, and then I can show on one of the other things. Let me get it so it's locking. Go, come on. But anyway, so we're embossing. Oh, there we go. That, and I did that on a different one, and used some different tools. What was it? It was a foam. Looks like a foam marshmallow, but it was a. I forgot the name of it. When I find it, I'll put it in the description. But anyway, so here's what we do, because these are cotton tiles. Sorry, I knocked my little microphone. Maybe I'll try. I'll do a beginning of a cheesecloth, which is just a straight line, kind of a wiggly lines, but it's a nice background. And I don't know if you can see. Oh, there you can see. So we're just pressing into the tile, and now these tiles are made of, these are cotton paper, so they're kind of thick, right? So it's not necessarily going to work on something that's like cardstock, but we're just pressing down and then putting like a chalk pencil. I used a chalk pencil and pan pastels on this one with this really cool, I'll just show you. Oh, I think it's a foam dauber, they called it. So, put a little on, swish it around, so that way it puts the color on the outside, not in the inside, not where the groove is, and so it really creates a neat effect. Little side note. So this, like I said, this I did on the black tile, and just wanted to have some fun with it and play with some ideas, and it turned out okay. It looks a little muddy where I was trying to do some shading, but I'll continue to play with it and see what other fun we can have with it. And that's about all I have for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up on the video. Feel free to share it with your friends. I hope that you try it and have some fun. And then if you would like to join us on a Tough Tangle Tuesday, or I do also free classes on Thursday. I also have classes that have a fee, and that helps me. That helps to support my efforts in doing the free classes and the videos and things like that. So feel free to take a look at my website, or connect with me if you have any questions, or if you're having trouble finding anything. Would love to have you join us live online, and we have a lot of fun. And then lastly, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed it enough to see more, then I would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel here. That, of course, is free, and that also helps me out quite a bit. And and that's it. So again, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you give this a try and have some fun with it. Gosh, look at how neat that is. And then it's just addicting. Oh, let me, as I close out here, one of the things I did want to mention is usually in Zentangle, as I finish shading this one here, we don't do Celtic knot type of things, because usually they require a lot of planning, and usually are done on like a graph paper, or something that has a grid already, so you can kind of plan out how you're doing it. And Cherryl, hats off to you. There are other ones that kind of have this flair. Zentangle has put some out. Waybop is one, and I know I did a video not too long ago on that. They have one called Ratoon, which will probably, I don't remember if I've looked at that one on here or for a class, but we'll be looking at doing that at some point. But they're kind of a theme, variations on the same theme. And there's also some border tangles that we've done. Actually, probably this time last year, there's a border tangle called, I think it's just called Celtic. That was kind of neat. So they're difficult to do, because you want to make sure that things are lined up, and we want to keep with the spirit of Zentangle, where we're not doing a lot of planning. So hats off to Cherryl and those that have created step outs, or made a way that we can do such a tangle and also kind of honor the Zentangle method, where there's not so much planning involved. So it really, really fantastic. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.